I want to talk about Ghazali's four veils. And these veils are the veils which stop a seeker from reaching his or her goal, which is the truth. And he starts here, and at the start he said, "Bidan ke har ke bahaq na rasid." Azan bud, azan bawat or azan bawat ke rah na raft. So the first thing to know is that you don't reach, or you don't, the truth haq is not known to you because you haven't even started to walk on the way. تاکه هر که به حق نرسید از آن بود که راه نرفت. So you haven't. So if you're seeking something, you need to go, stand up, walk, and start looking for it. So you haven't even started looking for it. You're not on the way. So you can't reach the truth. You can't reach the truth. And why do people don't look for the truth? Because they don't even start seeking. So you don't walk on the way because they don't even start seeking or searching. So the way, you don't walk on the way because you don't seek. You don't search. You don't look for. And why don't you look for? Because you don't know that this is so. و هر که طلب نکرد از آن بود که ندانست. So whoever doesn't look for, we don't look for it because we don't know that what we don't know whether we should be looking for the truth, or we know that we should be looking for the truth, but we don't know the way. So it can be both. And you don't know, and also you don't believe that you don't really have a trust. Not trust, but you don't actually have you don't actually believe that you should look for something which is precious, or you need to look for it. So بدان که هر که به حق نرسید از آن بود که راه نرفت، و هر که راه نرفت از آن بود که طلب نکرد، و هر که طلب نکرد از آن بود که ندانست و ایمان به تمام نبود و تمام نبود. So you don't go on the way because you don't walk, because you haven't sought. You're not seeking. You're not seeking because you don't know, and you don't believe in this sort of thing. And you don't have knowledge because either people who know are not very many, or you haven't looked for them. So he says that پس سبب این هم اضافه ایمان است و سبب اضافه ایمان برسیدن رهبران است. So there are people who know, who have trodden this path. They are not very many. They have, or in another edition it says سبب اضافه ایمان نپرسیدن رهبران است. So you either don't look for them or don't ask for it, or there are not very many people who can guide you anyway. So he said, if you want to seek the truth, what the first thing you need is a وَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْآخِرَةَ. So you need to be willing, and the person who wills is murid. So if you are not willing, nothing can happen. But willing is not enough. You have to وَسَعَلَهَا سَعْيَهَا. You have to, first you have to be willing, and then you have to work for it. You have to search. You have to seek knowledge, seek the way. And so and once you have done that, there are 4 veils. You should be aware of them, which will stop you from attaining your destination, which is the truth. Haqq or al-haqq. And there are 4 veils which hinder the way of the seeker who is seeking the truth. And those are, first is wealth, mal, money, greed. Because if your main purpose in life is to accumulate wealth, then your heart would be filled with the longing for that. And if your heart is already filled with one longing, and it's occupied with something else, then it's not going to have a space for the love and longing for the truth. So that's why in tasawwuf, for example, one of the things is, the first thing is to empty out your heart, emptying out your heart for other longings. And then you can fill your heart with the type of longing, which is the longing for the truth. The heart only has a limited space, so that's like emptying out is very important. That's why always. So the first veil is wealth and longing, money. Not what you need to sustain yourself, but just that becomes your main priority in life. So that because it fills your heart with longing for that, then you can't fill your heart with longing for the veil. So that then it becomes a veil, and you can't seek the truth. So that's the first one. اما مال از آن حجاب است که دل را مشغول همی دارد. So the heart become occupied with that. و راه نتوان رفت الا به دل فارغه. So you can't go on the way to truth and knowledge unless your heart is emptied out of all other longings. باید که مال از پیش برگیرد الا به مقدار حاجت که اندر آن مشغله نباشد. و اگر کسی باشد که هیچ چیز نداره و تیمار و دیگری می‌دارد، راه و زودتر انجام کند. So that's the first thing. The second veil is status. چهار. That's another longing which fills your heart. So you need to empty out your heart of that longing if you want your heart to be filled with longing for the truth. اما حجاب جا حشمت بدان برخیزد که بگریزد و جای شود که وی را نشناسند. So I mean that he is saying, if you can't get out of, you can't get this done in where you are, then you have to go somewhere else where nobody knows you. که چون نامدار بود همیشه با خلق و بلذت اقبال خلق مشغول باشد. So especially people who are already well known, it's very hard for them to. So these drastic things are for those people who are already well known. But the essence is و هر که از خلق لذت یابد به حق نرسد. Whoever takes pleasure in the company of people cannot reach the truth. So the seeker of truth, you need to get rid of your heart of the longing and the pleasure of status and the pleasure of being among people, so they praise you and all that, and it's not necessary to leave people, but um, but that thing shouldn't be occupying your heart. That's the thing. And Naqshbandi saints have this, and it's derived from the sayings of the Prophet. They talk about khalwat dharanjaman. So it's not just that you don't need to leave people, but you can live among people without occupying your heart with them. So that's and if your heart is filled with status, then it can't seek the truth and it can't reach the truth. The third veil is taqleed. And taqleed is to follow the dominant opinion, dominant culture, dominant epistemology, dominant taken for granted truths. Because if you are a seeker for truth, you can't take what is prevailing as the truth. And that's one of the greatest veil, in the sense that people are socialized in reigning opinions, education system, especially in the world in which we live, with mass media and mass education, mass culture. So people are filled with given opinions, and going against the grain is very hard. People will ostracize you if you say something which is taken for granted or challenge it. So that's the greatest and in fact, the people who, if you read the Quran, the people who rejected the messengers, one of their greatest argument was that the message of the prophets was against their traditions, against their opinions of their forefathers, etc. So that's why being critical, really critical, not because in our education system talk about critical, being critical, critique all the time, the least thing they do. I mean, the rarest thing in a culture which is actually based on critique is real critique, which is self-critique. And self-critique is the critique of your own opinion, but the opinions of your own society and education system and culture, the reigning opinions. So that's the third Well, because if you can't go against the grain, or if you can't have, to use Nietzsche's term, unseasoned opinions or untimely meditations, I'm forgetting his German, which is more accurate. Then you can't go on the way to truth. So to seek the truth, you have to empty out your heart of all given opinions and their sanctity and bracket them for at least their. So have self-critical attitude, and doubt is important in that sense, and Ghazali's doubt comes in that category. Only then you can even think of seeking truth or going on the way. So اما تقلید حجاب از آن است که چون مذهب کسی اعتقاد کرد و بر سبیل جدل سخن وی بشنید هیچ چیز دیگر اندر دل وی جای نماند. So if you are so attached to your given opinion, then you are not going to listen to anything else. باید که آن فراموش کند. So it's important that you forget about those. و بمان لا اله الا الله ایمان آورد. And the basics of la ilaha illallah is that you reject all that is present. و تحقیق آن از خویشتن طلب کند. And search truth for yourself. That's why Iqbal says है वही तेरे ज़माने का इमाम जो तुझे, I think that's हाजिर व मौजूद से बेजार करे. I can never memorize the poetry, but है वही तेरे ज़माने का इमाम बरहक, the real guide of your times is the one who make you wary of the present, make wary of the present and the present opinions. So that's why you can go against the present. Seek truth for your own. تحقیق وان باید که فراموش کند و بمان لا اله الا الله ایمان آورد و تحقیق آن از خویشتن طلب کند و تحقیق و آن بود که وی را هیچ معبود نماند. So God's really the God of public opinion. Education system. و تحقیق و آن بود که وی را هیچ معبود نماند تا در وی را جز حق تعالی. Only the truth. و هر که هوا بر وی غالب بود, and whoever just dominates desires, then he can never go against the grain. Then desires are his or her Lord, really, God. So the God of public opinion, God of desires, unless you empty out your heart of these gods, you can never seek truth in its reality. وچو این حال حقیقت شود باید که کشفکار از مجاهده جوید نه از مجادله. And once you have emptied out your heart of given opinions, and what you need is search for truth for your search, not having debates and fights on Facebook about people about, or LinkedIn or other social media. So mujadala, or just the arguments. Because mujadala people, when they argue, mostly they just trying to dominate others. They're not really seeking truth. So that's the third one. And the fourth one is masiyat. It's a big, big veil. And masiyat can be any evil doing, but one of the greatest one is to oppress defenseless people. Or to exploit others and eat other people's money or their rights just to fulfill your own desires or desires of your family or those who are with you. So evil doing, because because in our tradition, masiyat, evil doing is darkness, and when heart is filled with that darkness, it can't see the truth. وَأَمَّا مَعْصِيَةُ حجاب مهین است که هر که بر معصیت مصر باشد دل و تاریک بود. Whoever's insist on evil deeds, their heart is darkened. They can't see anything. So then how can they see the truth? Because truth is light. And so these are the four veils I wanted to cover. Okay, thank you.